Ttt Throwdown!
Welcome to the Throwdown.
On this week, we have 5 TTT athletes demo the workout from Steel Furnace CrossFit in Orlando, Florida.
We've got 21-15-9, power clean, toes to bar, back squat, chest to bar. Let's see it.
And actually, before we start this, let's pause and introduce our cast.
We've got a full
Who's
group
this?
today. This is Steel Furnace CrossFit. That on the far left in the red shirt, that's Roy Cohen. He owns Steel Furnace, an awesome training think tank affiliate, and they let us use their gym when we were down there for semifinals.
And all these guys are in compete.
All these guys are in compete. So we got Roy on the left, and then it's Gabriel, Paulo, Kenny, and Ziad going from left to right. And we'll talk about all of them. We'll focus on Roy a little bit since he's on the far left, and then talk about the other guys as well.
All right, let's jump into this bad boy.
Let's see it.
Stop stealing the stuff.
Sorry. All right. And should anyone touch and go all 21 of these power cleans?
No one. No one is allowed to touch and go.
Yeah, so I think this is just a singles workout right off the bat. You know that you're going to be doing toes to bar and chest to bar and power clean are all grippy. So anytime I see a workout like that, it almost always tends towards being singles, especially at this weight threshold. So the only thing you can really do for separation is just how you turn over the bar.
Riding the barbell down, keeping your hands on it, your feet in the same spot. That can really speed up your reps. But, Travis he loves to do I'm going to do 8 or 9 touch and go and then go to singles just because you feel like you get ahead and you can race. But for most people, singles makes sense.
That's too unrealistic.
Yes.
Our games athletes aren't.
Don't do what Travis does.
Roy did make semifinals for the 35 to 39 age group this year. All of these guys are really fit. Most of them have made quarterfinals in the past, so just give people some context of where everyone is.
Yeah, and you can see even within this group that there's a little bit of range in what percentage of their 1 rep max is. Paulo over here, his feet are having to go a little bit wider to catch it, and it looks a little bit heavier in the rack. Maybe also watch and stand all the way up on those when you're finishing at the top. But that then slows his cycle rate because this is heavier for him. So as you see a workout like this, your cadence will be dictated by how much of your 1 rep max is this. Is this 50% or is this 70%?
And that's one of the reasons why we talk about strength in the off season. Getting your 1RMs up is going to help these moderate loads, make it easier. You see how fast Roy was able to cycle that compared to some of the other guys.
So how would you guys
toes to
attack
bar.
the toes to bar here?
Oof. Go ahead.
He's been going.
Well, I was just going to say, I'm actually pretty grip limited, especially if I'm not training a lot. And so because of that, I like to break these up early.
This guy over here, come on. You don't know what grip limited is.
I'm very grip limited. So thinking about knowing that
I
the
think
15
Roy's
set,
going unbroken.
he's doing it.
Oh,
Yep.
he did it.
He did.
He's doing
Roy.
Bold. Let's
Knowing
see
you
how
have
this
the toe to
works.
bar and the chest to bar, it probably makes sense for most people to break at least one time on the toe to bar so that you can go fast in chest to bar.
Man, that's impressive to do that unbroken. And then, so we're going to say standard of this is power clean it up, put it to your back, and don't take the back squat out of a rack. One caveat with that is you need to kind of have that skill at this weight to do this safely. So having the comfort to go into a power clean and just push it over your head and get it in a rack. If you don't, just use a rack.
Totally.
But for most people, this is actually a skill that you'll need to have if you want to compete.
So this is where I would say maybe break the toes to bar so that you feel a little better going into the back squat, because if you do break the back squat, it's a lot of work and a lot of time to put it back on in that back rack. And then also cycle speed of the back squats can start to get really slow and grindy here.
Yeah, so Roy and I think that's Kenny over there. Kenny dropped his bar in the back squat set. Roy is pausing at the squat at the top of every one of the squats. If you can, in a set of squats, whether it's front squats or back squats like this, if you can keep your cycle rate quick and only pause at the top, maybe you do.
If you're Brannon.
Do 7, take
alone.
a break, do 7, take a break. You can actually go through those sets a lot just quicker by saving time per rep.
All right, into the chest to bar. Is he going to go unbroken again?
Man, if he does, he's got some. Yeah, I think it's
That's
more
probably smart.
Yeah, I think it's more likely that you could do big toes to bar in this workout sets than you can chest to bar. I think chest to bar probably for almost everyone should be 3, 4, or more sets, depending on your skill level.
So Kenny and Big Z in the back. Their arms are wide. I can't tell what Gabriel's arms look like from this angle, but I think that that's smart to relax your shoulders and relax your grip in that back squat position if you're comfortable there.
Yeah, and one of the things that Ziad was doing well is he spread out his stance a little bit. That's a little bit wider than his normal squat stance. I like that in workouts like this, so you can go a little bit faster. Your range of motion is less, but that's good for when you have 21 reps and then 15 and 9.
Roy was somewhere around the 4-minute mark when he finished the 21s. In these formats, remember when it's like 21, 15, 9, the 21 is almost half the workout. It's not quite half, but it's a pretty big chunk of it. So a lot of times if you do 21, 15, 9 formats quickly, you can almost, even though you're getting deeper into the workout, you can almost speed up your cycle rates because it's only 9 reps to finish. So something to consider with pacing, that maybe your barbell cycling in round 9 might be way faster than round 21 and 15 as well.
Yeah, that's a really good point. All right.
So Roy did some quick singles and then backed up a little bit and did the little cluster set that Brandon loves.
I love it. I love it. He's been listening. It really does help mentally, and I think you can go a little bit faster that way if you start timing yourself out. To do it, though, you have to be really disciplined in the cluster set. So stay on top of the barbell. Your feet aren't moving much, and like I said earlier, you're almost riding the barbell down. Your hands are staying really close to the barbell the entire time.
This is two things. I want to shout out that banner in the back. Pretty awesome. I love that.
Yeah,
we love your support. No, this is actually more realistic of what you see when you put dense, complex gymnastics like chest to bar in workouts that are fatigued. A lot of time we're showing, games athletes, semifinal athletes, but I know if I do a workout like this and I get grip limited, I might be doing singles or doubles like we see Gabriel doing. When you get into that state, really, it's just about how quickly you can stay on the bar. So you can do singles and just do a rep, stay there 5 seconds, do a rep, and just chip away through it on a more regular clock. And sometimes you can, just by nature of staying more disciplined in the workspace area, can get through the work faster.
So you can see Gabriel's doing kipping chest to bar pull-ups. Did he start with kipping, or was he doing butterfly to start?
He started with kipping.
Okay, yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so that's something that, Gabriel, you can start working on now. Obviously, you have the skill programs and compete to work on that. It just makes it so much faster and more efficient once you get it down. When you're learning the butterfly, especially under fatigue, you lose it right away, so you have to go back to the kip. But keep practicing that and then try to implement into workouts. Like my first set of 3 is going to be butterfly, and then I go to a kip. And then my next round, the first set of 3 again will be butterfly, and eventually you'll get them.
I lost track of Roy. We said we're going to watch him. I saw him come off the toes to bar, but I don't know if he did it unbroken.
No,
he broke.
He did?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So if you see that, would you recommend then in the future breaking the 21s also, or you think it's early enough in the workout that it's okay?
I would break both because the 15 is always the hardest. Everyone that's done a 21-15-9 workout like Fran or Elizabeth or anything like that knows that 15 is always really challenging. And this 15 chest bar, when he's done with these, it's going to be really hard too. So save some time in the middle rounds by pacing the first round of 21.
Yeah, and then knowing that you're going into a movement where you're going to be under tension for a long time, because the back squat is just, you have the bar on your back for a long time. So even if your grip feels okay and your core feels okay, just keeping your heart rate down and just staying under control going into a movement that you know is going to be a lot of bracing and just a lot of time under tension.
Kenny, watching in the black shirt, fourth to the right, his tech, he looks like a super strong dude, and he's obviously moving this weight really well. It's still moving fast, but you can see that right off the ground, his arms kind of early bend, and he's using a lot of upper body with this. You can probably tighten up some of that, make it a little bit more efficient. And in a CrossFit setting, it really, really helps because there's a lot more extra just bicep and grip stress, power cleaning like that, when then you have to go to chest to bar. So it's kind of something that I always harp on people is always try to make your movement quality as good as you possibly can if you're trying to be efficient. It'll pan out on not just the movement you're doing, but also when you start to pair all these things together, you basically can only go as fast as your technique allows you to go.
And I think, Max, that's the key is it's not just getting efficient in the movement you're doing, but when you're doing a CrossFit workout, there's 3-4 other movements. It's reducing the fatigue in that movement, so there's not compounding fatigue in all of the movements. And if, again, you become more efficient at a power clean or a back squat, it makes the toe to bar and the chest bar easier, even though they're completely different movements.
So the round of 15 for Roy took about or almost the same amount of time as the round of 21. So it's just something to keep in mind of like the cumulative fatigue that comes out of pairing these movements.
Yeah. And then I think when you're in the 9, it depending on how blown up you are, it's almost should be thinking a bit about it like probably a sprint after you get through the sets of power cleans. Like you're doing the toes to bar and the chest to bar maybe in 1 or 2 sets if your capacity allows for that, and doing the squats unbroken.
Yeah.
That's kind of where I think most people will quote unquote sprint finish if they have the gear at the end of the workout.
And if you know you're going to do that, maybe you do slow down your last 2 or 3 power cleans, try to recover. I know that's hard while you're doing work, but like take a longer break between those singles so that you can transition quickly over to the bar or the pull-up bar and do your toe to bar.
Do you guys have awareness of where everyone aside from Roy is? Roy has
started
now
his second round, or
okay, so he just started
on
his 15s.
Yep.
Yeah. I would say for Paulo too. In the beginning it was a little bit close, but on some of those power cleans, I'd make sure, like from a standard perspective, that feet were fully stood up and you're all the way stood up. It'll just getting no reps in a competitive setting, I feel like, is the worst thing that you possibly can. So training it to a tighter standard just might help in the future, just make things easier that you don't ever flirt the line of no reps.
But this is the great thing about doing video and then obviously posting it and allowing other people to see it, is it holds yourself to a higher standard. So he's going to watch this, he sees it, and then that's something that he can improve on. For those that are just doing workouts and never filming yourself, you can't get better at that because you don't know what you're actually doing. So now Paulo can see that, improve on it. And I've done the same thing. Like I go back and look at things, I'm like, man, I thought I was standing all the way up, or there were a couple, I did the Murph video and there are a couple push-ups that I wasn't fully extended. I'm like, man, you can't feel that when you're doing the workout, but you can when you review the workout. Now I can get better at that.
And you can feel it when somebody sends you a text message criticizing.
Yeah. He would be 45 minutes behind me playing barber.
Yeah, we know you're oh, you're not filming me point to the camera. All right, so last set of squats there, 9 chest to bars, and we're done?
Yep.
For Roy?
Yep.
All right, we're at 10.
Will he keep it unbroken?
3, 4.
His chest to bar looked
Wow,
really
those
good.
are solid.
Yeah.
6,
His
7,
toes to bar looked really good too.
8, 9.
Great
so
job,
great
boys.
gymnastics. The death drop. 10:58 to finish. All right,
Good job, Roy.
and we'll watch the rest of the guys. Come on, man. You're supposed to be cheering your friends on, not dying on the floor. Just kidding.
All right, next time you do it, I'm going to say the same
He's
thing.
going to get me doing the throw. Yeah, but I wouldn't be the first one done here.
True.
I don't have this problem.
Roy did tell me to pick him apart. The one thing, watching his whole video now, I think that the back squat slowed him down quite a bit by doing the long pauses. If you have to do that, you have to do that. But one thing Roy could do is maybe 5 really fast, then take that long pause. 5 really fast, take that long pause. And again, it just reduces your overall time.
Yeah, and also to think about when you have 155 pounds on your back and you're squatting slower, there's a lot of just isometric tension. I mean, you're holding and bracing for however long the bar's on your back. So if you can go through the reps quick, it takes a little bit more energy, but it's less time under tension. So it actually could maybe have a net effect of making it less tiring.
I can't tell. Is this man's shoes right here got a little pink in them?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Or you think
props
what?
for the matching right here then.
Oh, it might
I
be
see.
red. No, we'll
That's
say
okay.
it's pink.
Let's just say it's matching.
pink.
You can't
Yeah.
tell.
Yeah.
How come we don't comment?
The drip.
How come
I like
we
the
don't
drip.
comment on Paulo's matching? He's all black and white, and the purple all the way on the right. Everyone's matching.
Yeah. Man, I need to do a better job with my wardrobe.
I need the wardrobe selection like Steel Furnace CrossFit.
Max comes in here with like bright blue pants and what doesn't match with that?
This is
I
more
don't
my
know.
speed.
And also
With
slippers.
the camo. I think that's camo.
Yeah. That's not your speed. He's not wearing Crocs.
Yeah, Chris
It would
is
be
out there
camo
doing-
with Crocs.
Camo Crocs.
Yeah.
Chris was running 1 mile repeats in Crocs.
I know.
Which is a crazy man.
I told him yesterday we're going to implement a policy where you can't train in Crocs in the gym.
Wise
That's,
decision.
that's the end of Chris
Just
at
go down the street to
TTT.
crunch.
They'll also kick you out for that. All right, so we got some in the chest to bars in the round of 15, toe to bar in the round of 15.
Oh, he just put up a 5. I don't know what that means.
No, I think he's looking at his hand. I think he ripped his hand on the first set of chest to bar.
Oh, no.
I saw him looking at it earlier. Brutal in workouts when that happens.
Yeah.
I think, with the having the grips on, try to play around with how you adjust them and maybe hold on to some like your outer fingers a little bit more, your inner fingers a little bit more.
Yeah, or you hang on by like your
your
little
tips, yeah.
fingertips.
So something to think about here. All these guys are chipping away with small sets, which is great, happens to most people. It's what you have to do in workouts. As you're going through your off season and training, pay attention to how much rest you take between those small sets. And I would work on decreasing that rest over time versus trying to do bigger sets. So if you're doing 3s and then you're resting 15 seconds in between, do you actually need those 15 seconds, or can we get you to 12 seconds or 10 seconds? And then once you can get to 3s on a 5 to 7 second rest, then maybe we start looking at, can you do 4s and get it back down to that? I think that helps a ton with intermediate level athletes, and not just like bleeding time in a workout,
like
as he's bleeding.
As he's literally.
And Mia, we have that in our programs, right? The intermediate program has a lot of that work.
Exactly.
Yeah, can you kind of walk through like what a couple weeks would look like doing that?
Yeah, so we'll say we're doing toes to bar. We'll
got the thirst angle going now.
Yeah, he wanted us to see effort as a choice there. Maybe.
I love it.
Yeah.
We'll give you a rep range, so 5 to 10 reps of toes to bar, and you pick which one is appropriate for you. And we'll do something like we're going to do 50 reps for time with the number that you choose, and you're going to hold a 10-second rest. All right, now we're going to lower that to 8 seconds the next week and 6 seconds. All right, now we're going to increase the reps a little bit and increase the rests back up and work our way back down and just build that. It builds your endurance in the movement, and it also builds your awareness, which is huge. Crush games.
Oh,
what a throwback.
Nice.
You guys remember that?
Are they all done, or did you just stop?
He got
the unicorn banner up there.
And we got Matthias up there.
I love
For
it.
the record, Steel Furnace is in Orlando.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Quick thing. Hopefully, Roy doesn't get too mad at me saying this, but if you are doing chest to bars in super small sets, lowering the pull-up bar will be very, very
He's
helpful.
He's going to hate you.
I know. I'm sorry.
We're sorry, Roy.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
He didn't mean it.
Falling from jumping up 8 inches and falling 8 inches when you're doing singles is just a lot of extra
So
work
much
on
I think
your
he was
legs.
just trying to flex.
Yeah. So something to think about, Roy. If you have a problem, you could put it in the complaint jar, which is the blue
He's
bin
going to
in
be
your gym.
raising and lowering bars at his affiliate every class now.
Great job,
Well,
guys.
it's cool to see our first group that we've never had. Well, we've had some of our own, but a full group of TTD Compete athletes. That was cool. So thanks for doing that.
And all those guys are great. They're commenting in the water cooler, talking trash to each other. It's a lot of fun.
Oh, perfect.
Gabriel, Roy, Paulo, Kenny, Ziad, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Peace.
Yep. See you guys.
It's a wrap, you know what I'm saying? Your boy Project Ttt in this thing, man. Hey, look, man, thank y'all for watching Training Think Tank's YouTube channel. Y'all hit that motherfucking subscribe button, you know what I'm saying? So y'all go ahead, man. Thank y'all for watching the channel, you know what I'm saying? Hit that motherfucking subscribe button. Let it be known, what it be known, what it be known, you know what I'm saying? Ttt.